Have you ever wondered why some study sessions stick while others vanish like vapor? Why is it that sometimes, despite our best efforts, the information just doesn't seem to stay? Why some information stays with us for years, becoming a part of our long-term memory, while others slip away after a few days, leaving us puzzled and frustrated? The answer lies in understanding how our brains learn and process information. Learning is not just about absorbing information. It's about making connections, building pathways, and strengthening neural networks. Our brains are like intricate webs, constantly evolving and adapting. By understanding the science behind effective learning, we can tailor our study habits to be more productive. We can unlock our cognitive potential, achieving those aha moments more frequently, and become more efficient, engaged, and joyful learners. Imagine a classroom where every student is fully engaged, or a workplace where learning is a source of excitement. Whether you're a student striving for academic success, aiming to ace your exams, a professional seeking to acquire new skills to advance your career, or a lifelong learner eager to expand your horizons and keep your mind sharp, knowing how to learn effectively is a superpower that can transform your life. It empowers you to take control of your personal and professional growth. This essay will delve into the fascinating world of cognitive science, exploring the mechanisms that make learning possible, revealing the secrets to unlocking your brain's learning potential. Get ready to embark on a journey that will change the way you approach learning forever. One of the most influential models for understanding how we learn is the information processing model. This model has been pivotal in educational psychology and cognitive science, providing a framework for how we perceive, process, and store information. This model compares the human mind to a computer, suggesting that we process information in a series of stages, much like how a computer processes data through input, storage, and retrieval. First, sensory memory. Imagine walking through a bustling market. Your senses are immediately engaged by the vibrant environment. Your senses are bombarded with sights, sounds, and smells. The colors of the stalls, the chatter of people, and the aroma of food all compete for your attention. This sensory information is briefly registered in your sensory memory, which acts like a filter, holding on to information for a fleeting moment. It's a rapid, automatic process that helps us make sense of the world around us. Next, short-term memory. If you pay attention to a particular sight, sound, or smell, it moves from sensory memory to short-term memory, also known as working memory. This is where conscious processing occurs. This is where you actively hold and manipulate information, like remembering a phone number or solving a math problem. It's a temporary storage system with limited capacity, typically holding information for about 20 to 30 seconds. Finally, long-term memory. For information to become truly embedded in our minds, it must be transferred from short-term memory to long-term memory. This transfer often requires repetition, meaningful association, or emotional significance. This is where we store our knowledge, experiences, and skills. Long-term memory is like a vast library, with an almost limitless capacity to hold information. Long-term memory has a vast capacity and can store information for a lifetime. It allows us to recall past experiences, learn new skills, and build upon our existing knowledge. Understanding these stages is crucial because it highlights the importance of attention, engagement, and meaningful encoding for effective learning. By recognizing how our minds process information, we can develop better strategies for studying, teaching, and lifelong learning. Neuroscience has provided fascinating insights into the biological underpinnings of memory. Memories are not stored in a single location in the brain but are distributed across networks of neurons. When we learn something new, connections between neurons called synapses are strengthened. This process, known as synaptic plasticity, is the foundation of memory formation. The more frequently these connections are activated, the stronger they become, making it easier to recall information. This is where the concept of neurons that fire together, wire together, comes into play. Repeated exposure and practice strengthen the neural pathways associated with a particular piece of information, making it more accessible for retrieval. One of the most powerful evidence-based learning techniques is spaced repetition. This technique leverages the science of forgetting curves and retrieval practice to enhance long-term retention. The forgetting curve, first described by psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, illustrates how we tend to forget information over time if we don't actively try to retain it. Spaced repetition combats this by strategically timing our review sessions. By reviewing information at increasing intervals like day 1, day 3, day 7, and day 14, we force our brains to retrieve the information when it's on the verge of being forgotten. This effortful retrieval strengthens the neural pathways and makes the information more resistant to forgetting. Section 5. Active recall, testing your way to mastery. Active recall is another powerful technique that involves actively retrieving information from memory without looking at the answers. This can be done through various methods such as flashcards, practice quizzes, or simply summarizing information from memory. The act of retrieving information strengthens the neural connections associated with that information, making it more likely that you'll be able to recall it in the future. Active recall also helps identify gaps in your understanding, allowing you to focus your efforts on areas that need further review. Think of it like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Similarly, the more you actively recall information, the stronger your memory of that information will be. Section 6. Visual imagery, painting pictures in your mind. Our brains are wired to process and remember visual information more easily than abstract concepts. Visual imagery harnesses this innate ability by creating vivid mental pictures that link new information to existing knowledge. For example, if you're trying to remember the definition of the word ubiquitous, you could imagine a world where everything is covered in tiny, interconnected devices, representing the concept of being found everywhere. By creating these mental images, we engage multiple areas of the brain, making the information more memorable and meaningful. Section 7. Practical tips for applying effective learning techniques. Here are some practical tips for incorporating these evidence-based learning techniques into your study routine. These methods are designed to enhance your retention and understanding of the material, making your study sessions more effective and efficient. Use flashcards for spaced repetition. This technique involves reviewing information at increasing intervals, which helps to reinforce your memory over time. Apps like Anki or Quizlet can help you create and manage your flashcards, automatically scheduling review sessions based on your progress. These tools are particularly useful for subjects that require a lot of memorization. Incorporate active recall into your study sessions. This means actively trying to remember the information without looking at your notes, which strengthens your memory and understanding. After reading a chapter or attending a lecture, take some time to summarize the key points from memory. This practice not only reinforces what you've learned, but also highlights areas that need further review. Draw diagrams and create mind maps. These visual tools can help you organize information in a way that makes it easier to understand and remember. Visualizing information can make it more memorable and easier to understand. Use colors, shapes, and spatial arrangements to enhance your learning. Find a study buddy or join a study group. Collaborating with others can provide new perspectives and help you understand the material more deeply. Explaining concepts to others forces you to retrieve information from memory and solidify your understanding. Teaching is one of the most effective ways to learn. Take breaks and prioritize sleep. Your brain needs time to consolidate memories and recover from intense study sessions. Regular breaks and a good night's sleep are essential for optimal learning. Don't underestimate the power of rest in your study routine. By incorporating these practical tips into your study routine, you can enhance your learning efficiency and achieve better academic results. Remember, effective learning is not just about the hours you put in, but how you use those hours. Section 8. Conclusion. Embracing the power of effective learning. Understanding the science behind effective learning is not just about memorizing facts or acing exams. It's about unlocking your cognitive potential and becoming a more engaged, efficient, and joyful learner. By embracing techniques like spaced repetition, active recall, and visual imagery, you can transform the way you approach learning, making it a more rewarding and fulfilling experience. Remember, learning is a journey, not a destination. By continuously seeking out new knowledge and refining your learning strategies, you can embark on a lifelong adventure of intellectual growth and discovery. This concludes our journey into the science behind effective learning techniques. Remember, understanding how we learn is the first step towards mastering any subject. Keep experimenting with these techniques and find what works best for you. Happy learning! But before we part, let's take a moment to reflect on the endless possibilities that effective learning opens up. Think about the books you can read, the skills you can master, and the knowledge you can acquire. Each new piece of information is a stepping stone to greater understanding and personal growth. So, as you go forward, remember to stay curious, stay dedicated, and most importantly, stay passionate about learning. The world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered, and with the right techniques, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Also, leave a comment below with your favorite learning technique. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep reaching for the stars.